If you are not in this local area, please tune to a station in your local area for news and information. At the beep, John punched the button for the inner timer function on his watch, and it began telling off the seconds. He then allowed his concentration to refocus on the road ahead of him. By leaving immediately after the initial broadcast by the president, he had managed to get away from the university before the roads leading off campus had jammed with others fleeing work for their homes. He'd already seen 2 sheriff's cruisers putting out cones, and he knew that soon the road would be blocked off for the direction he was heading, but he could see his turn up ahead. He made his turn and steadily rolled up his acceleration until he was at 65 miles per hour, all the speed that he felt was safe. He passed the turn for his house and kept right on going. The other end of his county road intersected with US 27, undoubtedly soon to be jammed if it were not already, but it was the country store at the intersection that interested him. He passed several cars moving fast in the opposite direction, but encountered no difficulties reaching the store. Somewhat to his surprise, there was an opening at the fuel pump, so he pulled in. Taped to the glass of the pump was a hand-lettered notice stating cash only. Not surprising, he supposed, given the circumstances, and he was gratified to see the pump price was the same as it had been the day before yesterday. John faithfully followed the half equals empty rule, but under the circumstances, having the tank completely full would be a good thing. He also filled the 2.5-gallon can he kept in the bed. Stepping through the screen door, he looked for the balding man behind the register and said, "Hola, buenos tardes, Miguel. I'm glad to see you are open. Have you heard the news?" "Hola, John," replied the man. "Yes, it came over the television about 15 or 20 minutes ago." He nodded at the high set on a corner shelf facing the register. "This is surely the judgment of God come down upon us. Will the waves come as far as us?" John shook his head. "Miguel, I just don't know. This sort of thing has never happened before in all of human history. At least no one has ever lived to record it anyways. There was some theoretical work done some years ago that says not, but how can we know until the waves roll in? Until they break over us, we'll just have to keep right on fighting the good fight. Have many people stopped since the news broke?" "A few, yes, but most I think are going straight to their homes." The hose bell rang, but I expect that will change very shortly. He reached under the counter and pulled out a holstered revolver on a belt and cinched it around his waist. "My son, Ricardo, will be here in a minute to help me run the store and watch for the bad ones. Be glad you live down the county road. Soon the highway out there will be jammed." Nodding his head, John said, "You're right." He glanced at his watch, 12 minutes, 34 seconds, and then eyed the sacks of chicken and dog feed in the corner. He briefly considered buying it all with the $200 of emergency cash he kept in the truck. "I've got nearly a year's worth of feed in the cans at the house, and there'll be a world of people short of feed for their animals. I'll leave it." He took the money out of his pocket to pay for his gas. Miguel took it from him and asked, "Do you think we'll see it hit?" John considered for a moment and said, "I don't think so. It's a long way to Bermuda from here, and the curvature of the earth will block almost all of it from us, and the cloud cover outside now will block most of the rest. We might be able to see the immediate after effects, though, when the vaporized seawater hits the upper atmosphere. It will begin to storm very hard not long afterwards. It may stay that way for many days. You should have your family get your house ready." He turned and started walking toward the door. He could see several cars waiting to get to the pumps, and more were pulling in. Vaya con Dios, Miguel," he called from the door. "And to you as well, my friend," he heard Miguel reply as the door closed. By the time John pulled out of the parking lot and back onto the county road, there were 9 cars at the pumps and more pulling in. People were streaming into the store. The truck rolled swiftly towards home. As he shot through his gate, his watch read 21:30.